Are following new developments in the murder of Colorado's chief of prisons and a Domino's pizza delivery driver. This evening, 7 News getting access to the car that was driven by the possible suspect and involved in a Texas shootout. You can see just how badly damaged that car is. 7 News also learning of a connection between that suspect's family and Governor Hickenlooper, a connection the governor talked about just this week. We have live team coverage on both these angles. We start with Mark Stewart live in Texas. Mark, Colorado investigators are in Texas now and are heading home.
And Teresa, we can now confirm that team of investigators from Colorado has now returned home. With that said, the detectives here in Texas are still processing that car, a vehicle that, according to court records, may have had some role in a deadly crime spree. It's inside this garage housing this mangled Cadillac, where Colorado detectives have been spending their time in Texas. This is the same car that a driver caught on camera spinning out of control after smashing into the side of a semi. Investigators say known white supremacist Evan Ebel of Colorado was behind the wheel, driving across Texas at speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, shooting his gun at officers along the way. He died after he was shot by an officer. Now, according to documents obtained by 7 News, some of the items discovered in this car may possibly link Ebel to 2 high-profile Colorado murders, prompting a senior officer from the CBI to come to Texas.
There's physical evidence in that car that we want to try and recover and then compare and see whether or not we are on track with the crime scenes in Colorado.
The filing also reveals the 9mm shell casings found at the murder scene of Colorado's prison chief Tom Clements are the same type found in Ebel's car. We've also learned when officers first arrived at the crash scene, the trunk was popped open. A pizza carrier box and Domino's logo clothing was found inside, a potential connection to the murder of pizza driver Nate Leon. While these murders are still mysteries, detectives from Colorado know these discoveries are significant.
Physical evidence doesn't lie unless your crime scene has been contaminated.
And the physical evidence is tremendous, but so too are the interviews with family and friends, conversations that could help investigators determine if Ebel was working on his own or if he was part of a bigger conspiracy involving white supremacists. We are live in Decatur, Texas tonight. Mark Stewart, 7 News.
New tonight, another twist in this tragic story. Governor John Hickenlooper confirming a long-standing friendship with Evan Ebel's father, Jack Ebel. In an unbelievable irony, the governor even referencing his friend's struggle with Evan while paying tribute to DOC Director Tom Clements. 7 News reporter Molly Hendrickson continues our team coverage.
We talked about what's called administrative segregation. I'd had an old friend whose son had gone on the wrong track and been arrested and put into administrative segregation for a long period of time. This is, solitary confinement.
The governor's words just hours after his friend and DOC Director Tom Clements was gunned down. 7 News confirming that old friend was ironically the father of Evan Ebel. What the governor didn't know is just a day later, Evan would be investigated for Clements' murder.
Colorado is sending and should be here this evening investigators that are working on that case and other homicide cases in the Colorado area.
According to the governor, Clements spent a good deal of time analyzing the impacts of solitary confinement. Meanwhile, Ebel was the poster child of its negative effects. He spent 5.5 of his 6 years in prison in the hole. In 2011, his father even testified about the changes he saw in his son.
He has a high level of paranoia. He's extremely anxious. So when he gets out to visit me and he gets out of his cell to talk to me, he's so agitated that it will take an hour to an hour and a half before we can actually talk.
Ebel was eventually released in January of 2013 after serving his full sentence. Molly Hendrickson, 7 News.
The governor issuing this statement tonight, saying the events of the past few days have been devastating for all involved. I am in shock and disbelief about how everything seems connected in this case. It makes no sense.